Hi, it's Andy.
Hi, it's Dave.
Hi, it's Kirk.
Well, good morning, lads. Another day for reaction videos on a Sunday morning. How was how was the Denali gig on Friday you guys went to?
Fantastic. I'm wearing the t-shirt of the support band Forbitor, who are
Forbitor.
definitely my favourite death metal band in Britain. So I was there for them just as much as Denali, but excellent live sound, especially on that first band. What were they called, Andy? Were they called Lowdown?
Lowdown, yeah, they were really good.
They were awesome. The guys on the guitars, they love the pinch harmonics, didn't they?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
They
were at Ballstock as well. I saw them at Ballstock in the summer. Yeah, I was looking forward to seeing them. They were really good as well. Forbitor, fantastic. Didn't know anything about them. Really surprised by them. And Denali, fantastic.
That's our type of music.
Their opening song, Battlefield, is just absolutely incredible. You know, I tell them this and they get quite embarrassed, but I listen to that track probably once a week. It's just perfect doom death song, really, really good. But yeah, as you said, sound was good. Little low turnout, that seems to be the case at local gigs at the moment. But yeah, good night.
And it was, so they were headlining, weren't they, Denali?
Yeah, so they had a 40-minute set.
That's what, 3 songs?
Well, 3 songs usually, plus 2 new ones, or one they'd played, I think, at Bloodstock, and one brand new track, so 5 in all. So it's a decent set for them, which was really good. As you say, it's their headlining show, so why not?
Yeah. Well, sounds interesting. It wasn't really my cup of tea, but I know you guys love your doom. Doom. Anyway, today's first band on the chopping block for us to check out. It's a London band called Lost Cause. Reached out and said, could I check out a video? It's a singer-made video, so it's not an official kind of thing they did for one of their songs. I just said, yeah, we'll check it out on the channel. So it's I've loaded it up. It's a little bit lo-fi, but I thought it'd be quite fun for us to go and kind of give our thoughts on it. So yeah, let's go check it out.
If it makes you
Okay, let's kick it off with Andy. Do you want to go first on this one?
Yeah, okay. It's good way of getting your music out there on a budget, isn't it? That sort of video. I think it worked quite well. There's lots of different types of footage, but just not enough of each type, if that makes sense. You know, seems to be the same images repeated, especially the guys on stage. You say the singer made it. That's quite obvious, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like the contrast in vocals. I mean, she didn't sort of vary up too much. The beginning was sort of a bit death metal at the beginning, and then she got sort of decent, clean melodic vocals throughout. Nothing special, to be honest. I mean, Kirk can probably sort of put it in a genre for us, but
yeah,
I don't think I'd be too keen to rush out and check them out any further. But there's definitely potential there. I'm going to take a guess. They're a new band. They sound like the material sounds like sort of created by a new band, and the video certainly is. You know, let's put something together and get our music out there, which is a great idea. So for a first ever, it's quite good. You know, so there's definitely potential there as to expand as a band.
Cool. Kirk, what did you think?
Excellent vocal performance. That stood out for me. I love how she has that technique. You hear the chorus where she'll hold a sustained note and then go up an octave. That is that's really difficult to do, and I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised to learn if she has had studied music or studied voice at the Royal College of Music or some prestigious institution. The riffs at the beginning, I thought I wanted more. Do you know what it reminded me of? Do you remember that new metal band Static X? Might be a bit. They were down tuning, but they could have done more with the guitars. I love the drums. Do that double kick pattern. That was fantastic where he does that like triplet at the beginning. Guided by the vocals. I didn't hear, I disagree, Andy, I didn't hear any death metal in that. But some parts of it reminded me of our good friends in Scarlet Envy. You've got the record in the background there. The voice did remind me of Kim Stacey Marino. So they would probably be a good fit, these two bands on the same bill. Are they from London, did you say?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was a bit like Andy. I wasn't overwhelmed by it, but I enjoyed it. I would definitely review it for Screen Blast Repeat. My only concern would be, I'm just wondering if a lot of the guitar work is going to regurgitate that early 2000s new metal style, which tends to lose my interest. If I'd want to hear more in terms of the ferocity of the guitars and indeed the extravagance. If you're going to be playing in drop A or down tuning a 7-string guitar, do something more imaginative with it rather than sound like a new metal band from 2001.
I mean, the main riff was good, I thought, and the solo accompanied the song, but as you say, it wasn't extravagant. But then I'm not looking for that in my metal. You know, I'm not a solo elitist. You know, I like solos that bring something to the song rather than, hey, look at me, I've learned this technique and I'm good at this technique. You know what I mean? But that, yeah, as I say, I'm going to stick with they've got potential and they've got the opportunity to sort of grow their following. They just perhaps need to do a bit of work in the studio.
Cool.
Dave, what do you think then? Let's have your verdict.
Well, quick disclaimer, that's actually my old band, Nothing Gained, not a band called Lost Cause.
Oh, you fucker! That is your old band! Right.
Sorry, I just had to get this one in there as my first reaction.
So it probably was from 2001 then.
No, so that was that song was written in 2008, but didn't come out until 2012 because it was the first song we ever wrote on the second album. The footage, the reason why it's a mix-up of footage is actually it's old footage from our 2008 album, Relic. We did a song called Relic off of the first album, Descent, and the singer cut her singing to footage from our previous video, which is why the video just janks. It's really interesting to hear what you say. So the guys were big new metal guys. So when they wrote a lot of riffs, it was like, the reason I picked that video as well is because I had long hair, didn't have a beard. So if you did get any shots of me on drums, you would never have guessed that it was me on the drum kit.
I don't. There wasn't any shots of you on the drums, was
no,
there?
The worst thing about that was we spent a whole day in this warehouse shooting that video for Relic, and the camera that did all my close-up shots was at a completely different resolution to the rest of the cameras. They couldn't use any of my footage, which is why there's only about 4 shots in the whole video from a distance of me on drums. There's nothing else of me. But I thought I really honestly wanted to see and hope that you didn't catch or hadn't heard anything that we had done. But I actually agree with pretty much everything you say. I mean, I listen to it now and I kind of go back and go, we knew where we wanted to be. We all came from new metal backgrounds. We did do heavier tracks, so we did some aggressive stuff. Like we had a song called "Rotting Inside," another one called "Under God," and they were more aggressive vocally. They were real fast blast beat sort of stuff. But then we also had acoustic songs in there. We had a real mix of stuff. But our problem was, as a band, we just couldn't work together and organize ourselves well enough. It took us from 2008 to 2012 to write 8 songs. So it took us 4 years to write 8 tracks because we just couldn't get that. And that's where we got we literally got to 8 tracks and went, right, we're recording now because we got at least 8 tracks to work with. So it's kind of interesting that you mentioned it's kind of the Scarlet Envy kind of model now that I'm working with Telescribe. So it's kind of an interesting sort of segue for me to kind of move across into that kind of into that band. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't take any offense. Yes, we're a brand new band, Andy. We've got potential.
Well, I was complimentary about the drums. I didn't realise
There
that
you
was
go.
on the drums still. Can we ask what became of the singer? Because she's got real talent.
She sings in a band called Midwich Cuckoos, which are, again, a band in London. They're a kind of more punky band. Done a couple of albums, did a recent tour. So yeah, she's still very busy. I mean, she originally left the band because she was on her second child and just couldn't commit to doing anything. She had the first kid, took some time off, went back, did the band for a while, and then came pregnant again. There's even footage of her playing with a big belly. So she stood at the front of the stage with fans on her, just trying to keep herself cool while she was, and that was when she was about 4 weeks before she was due to give birth. She was on the stage singing, doing performances. But once she had the second child, she was just like, I need to take a step away from the band. And she was like, if you guys want to get a new singer, I understand, but I need to prioritize family.
Was that correct? Did she have a background in music? Did she study it at college or university?
Not as far as I remember, no. I mean, watching back through footage of her where she is in her new band, the Nothing Gain stuff, and our very, very first Nothing Gain gig, I think she did a lot of on-the-job training. So she always came in with a reasonable voice. She got better. She's got really good now. I was watching some of her stuff. She did some real death metal vocals on a track for someone else recently, but she's still got that straight, great, clean vocal. But she went from watching these live performances where she just stood there looking at notes on the floor and just kind of really timid sheepishly, and now she just like completely commands the stage. But again, that's that piece of work of we used to film all our rehearsals, film all of our live shows so that we could go back through the footage and go, we need to work on that, we need to pick this apart. And we used to pick every single performance apart, going, especially where singers walk back and forth left and right across the stage and they don't look at the audience, they don't connect with the audience, where there's solos and they kind of just turn around and grab a bottle of water and just stand there looking lost on a stage. We used to pick those apart, going, now what are you doing? You need to interact, you need to get down, look at the person at the front of the audience. You've got to do something to make sure that the audience feels you're connecting with them, not connecting with each other on the stage. That's not as important. It's the connection with the audience bit.
That's really interesting, David, because the few shows that I've done, I've got no idea what anybody else is doing. So look, there's a few live clips, but I'm sure and I'm hoping Max doesn't need any of that sort of analysis and coaching, because I'm sure she's really good. But it'd be interesting, you say you sort of analyse and pick apart the performance.
I do. I pick everyone's
picking on the lead singer by the sounds of it. But
well, no, the thing is, when we
obviously helped her as well from what you said, which is great.
It did. I think the problem we were so analytical because we were always going, right, got to get this album out, got to push it. We were always aiming for like bigger stages, which meant we were critical of ourselves so badly. So we'd finish a gig and instead of being going, great gig guys, great gigs, we're like, right, you fucked up at this point. Second song, there was a too long a transition. We spent way too long. Why did you not go straight in? David, why didn't you count that song straight in? I was still tuning. And we would literally just rip each other to pieces when we got off stage. So it wasn't. It was only when we decided that the band was going to go on a hiatus that actually we started enjoying playing, because we didn't care anymore. We decided that the band was never going to go to the next stage. We were like, let's just have fun with it. But up until then, for about 4 or 5 years, all we did was just rip into each other constantly. We'd get off stage and we would just destroy each other because we were like, we've got to be perfect. You've got to do a great show. And if you can't do it, if it doesn't look good, if you don't look interested in it, if you're too, when you're playing guitar, if you're too much in your own world, looking at your guitar, or you're just looking at your pedals and you're not really looking at the audience in any shape or form. And the hard thing from a guitarist is when you look at the audience, you start looking at them going, oh, I wonder what they're doing. And then you forget what you're actually playing on your riff and you go, what? Oh shit, what am I doing? And you make mistakes. And that's the hard bit, is looking up, looking around, and you think you're doing it until you actually watch the footage back and realize that you spent 90% of the gig looking at your hand doing that, and occasionally looking up or changing your pedal board. And it's a real challenge. But that's the bit where bands move from that local band, gigging band, to the headlining act, where they actually generally become the band that are like, wow, they're the headliners and they can command the stage. And you can see that in some of the guys that play Club 85 are true headliners. And then there are others that play the headline slot but shouldn't be at the headline stage yet because they haven't got that stage presence. But anyway, I've talked a lot there, but that was Nothing Gained, and the song was called Holes in Faith off of the Hollow Rhetoric album. Great little fun game to start the day with you.
Yes, thank you for that.
Okay, no, there are no more surprises the rest of today. But anyway, for those watching, if you enjoyed the video, please do like, share and subscribe, and we will see you on another video sometime soon. Take care.